So Shahzad, now we will be moving to UK, and in UK they are celebrating Muslim Heritage Month. And what is the significance of this month, and why do we celebrate that? Because King Charles is known to be a very Islamophile king. He has a deeper interest and he exhibits remarkable insights into the religion of Islam. So in order to unfold the conversation, we are very glad that we have been joined by wellness coach Sahir Ahmed Evans. She is coming from the UK. Assalamu alaikum Sahir, and thank you so much for joining us.
Walaikum salam, and thank you for having me.
Right, Sahir, so let's unfold this conversation. Why is this particular month celebrated? And I'm pretty sure there might be other conversations that why other communities are also, or religious communities are not given the same attention and the Muslims are being given in the UK.
Well, this is actually quite a new initiative for 2025. So there was a founder, Shaista Gohar. So she's the CEO of the Muslim Women's Network, and she founded this month, March 2025, to celebrate the cultural richness of Muslims in the UK. Because there's a lot of negative stereotyping of Muslims and a lot of Islamophobia. So rather than seeing it from a negative lens, we want to celebrate Muslim richness.
Exactly. And what are we trying? So, congratulations, first of all. It's great that, that we have people who are actually trying to bring the religion to other people as well and communities, so that we can get rid of Islamophobia. But what is it that we would want to attain from such a month's observance?
So the theme around it is the ties that unite us. So it's to celebrate that there's more that unites us than divides us, really, and how much richness and diversity that Muslims bring. Muslim heritage is vast and great. And even now, Muslims are achieving so much in the modern world. And I think that needs to be celebrated, especially here in the UK, where we have seen a slight, negative attitude over the last few years. So anything that can change the narrative is better, I think.
And Ms. Sahir, how are we planning on doing that? So obviously we do know, you're on our TV show speaking about the entire month and what will happen and what we want to attain. But, there needs to be some sort of activity which will generate that goodwill for all of those Muslims who reside outside any Muslim majority countries. So what are those activities that people will be involving themselves in throughout the month?
So so far there's 20 plus organizations involved that are in academics, business, sport, science, activism, media, so TV and cinema, and they're just having events and creating awareness and dialogue and discussion, really sort of championing positivity and how the trailblazers Muslims are, especially Muslim women, to be honest.
Right, and Sahir, whenever we talk about, celebrating Muslims in the UK, and like you mentioned that there has been a negative attitude towards one particular community because of their religion. We've seen in 2024, there were, Muslim riots, and especially around the election cycle. And why do you think that there is a negative attitude? What is the misunderstanding that is causing it? Is it because of the fact that, because they have, separated, religion from the politics, and now their churches have getting abandoned and mosques are proliferating across the UK, and we've seen that how so many people are converting to the religion of Islam. Is it because of that, abandonment of that? Because the church was considered to be a part of their nationalistic identity, right? But when you are abandoning the church, your national identity is changing, altering, radically. Do you feel this is why they are blaming that radical shift on someone who's wearing turban, who has the beard, or maybe veil, who are, displaying the religious signifiers of, the religion of Islam? Do you find that this is the reason perhaps for contributing towards that misunderstanding?
I think it could be part of the reason, but I think, as you said, it's more about misunderstanding. There's been so much negative media hype around Muslims, Islam, over the last 20 years or so, even more. So Muslims have become just very misunderstood, and Islam has become very misunderstood. So if we don't understand something, it's very hard to connect to it. It's very hard to feel or understand what that thing is about. So if we can portray and highlight Islam and Muslims and show what we are really about, how much richness we really give to society, I think that can really challenge those stereotypes. I mean, it could have to do with the loss of religion and beliefs in the wider culture, but I think it's more about the misunderstanding of Islam and Muslims.
But Sahir, we've seen that Islam has always been the third legacy of the Europe, right? And its encounter with Islam is not just limited to this modern era. It has been going on for thousands of years. And I would now want you to please, unfold the conversation with regards to some of the very prominent Muslim women that have risen, that are very visible in the public sphere of the Britain, right? Be it the government officials' position, be it the public spaces, in the NGO spaces, or generally in the blogosphere space, I would like to say, because you're one of the women who was very, very visible in terms of the blogosphere and empowering them and doing all of this, wellness thing in that particular era. Please go ahead and unroll this conversation.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we are amplifying diverse Muslim voices, really, and fostering self-confidence as strong Muslim women, contributing to a legacy of empowerment, whether that's in government, whether that's in business, whether it's in academic, social media, sports. Muslim women are out there really, really portraying how positive and how empowering we are. I think it just changes the whole dialogue around the Muslim woman that we often hear about. That is not the case. It's certainly not the case in my position. So it changes the whole narrative. We're not oppressed Muslim women, and we really know how to be trailblazers, and we will continue to be so, inshallah.
Exactly. And it's wonderful to see. See, now imagine, I think, where credit is due, it's due as well, where we need to speak about, the countries that you live in and you reside in, where how, there will always be inclusivity, equality, and equal options to each and every one of you. And there's no gender bias. Now, in addition to this, other than gender bias, obviously they've done well. But when we speak of the religion bias, we do see that. And I think it's a great initiative, but unfortunately, I do see, whenever I go to UK myself or any other Western country, how our Muslim media is really not upfront, and we really would want people to be the voice, and how people are viewing CNN or BBC. We really need our spokesperson to be out there and garnering massive viewership. So do you think that we really need to bring out content which brings in a lot of eyeball and gives the right message?
Yes, without a doubt. I mean, the more exposure we can have, the more positive exposure we can have, it can only be for the better. As you said, we need to be more in the media. We need to share our voices more, share our message more, show our diversity, our culture, our heritage, and how much value we bring to the society. We bring so much value to the society, as Muslims, men and women. And whatever heritage you are, Muslims are so diverse. We're not just
A monolith group, right?
Yeah.
Arabs, like even in my family, if I talk of my own family, my husband is a white Muslim. We have Bengalis in my family. My nieces are from the African heritage. So it's a whole population from worldwide, globally, and we need to embrace that.
And that's exactly how it is now. Imagine that, because it's Ramadan, and we are doing iftar transmission, and we spoke about how because of Amma Khatija, because of her business, Islam spread to various regions as well. And that's exactly what we see. But how do you think that, that your community over there within the UK will actually plan on doing something which will bring the voices of the Muslim community and their culture and their heritage to the top, where a lot of people actually kind of get to witness that, with all of these iftar dinners, let's invite people from other religions as well, so that they can see how peaceful it is. They have a better understanding, and that's all we want, right?
Right, and I would, club my question, which is asked because of the paucity of the time, and that is, like you mentioned that we need to have more faces or representation. But do you feel in the years to come that because of the social media, the stereotype representation of Muslims have improved, and we are now being, properly represented as a diverse group within this, media voices? How do you see the role of social media in that?
Yeah, without a doubt. Social media has had a huge impact on how Muslims are portrayed. The average people who wouldn't have experience of Muslims are getting to see Muslims, view Muslims, sharing their Ramadan, sharing how they pray and how they celebrate, you know, these traditions and these cultures of ours. So that is going to spread the message even further. You know, my own son last week was in Parliament celebrating an iftar there. So we are doing it and we will continue to do it. And initiatives like this, inshallah, are just promoting it even more.
Exactly. And thank you so much for
Thank
your
you so
time as
much.
well. Very quickly towards the end, I would only want to say thank you in Punjabi because that's one thing that I love in UK the most as well. Either they speak English or either they speak Punjabi. तो खुश रहो, रब राखा. Thank you so much for your time.
You,
थोड़े
shukriya.
time का बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. Until next time, look after yourself. For everybody who's out there, ladies and gentlemen, look after yourself, embrace yourself. Make sure that if there's burnout, take power naps, you know, take recognition, appreciation. For all of these conversations that we have had, please make sure that you write to us on our page, which is with the name of World This Morning at ptv.com.pk. Email to us whatever you want to see in our coming shows as well. Until next time, look after yourselves.